What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Black News. Welcome back. Hey. Welcome to all the new listeners. I've had some new listeners pop in. And y'all listen, I'm going to say this. Certain platforms bring about certain things. Child, the YouTube listeners, y'all be kind of mean. Now, and I say that as somebody who, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this comment. I don't make this podcast for everyone. I make it for people who have an interest in Black news, who care about what is going on, and who just support the culture, right? But there's some episodes that they just take off with certain demographics, and it's always so interesting to see. But what I've noticed, and because I'm an avid comments reader. I read comments. If I'm watching a video on YouTube, even if it's nothing related to my own or anything else, I'm looking at the comments. People really be hiding behind these little usernames. And I'll even go as far as saying, not just on YouTube, the people be talking the craziest from my perspective on X, YouTube, and now Threads. It's just very interesting. But with that, I have picked up some new listeners. Some of them be fussy, some of them got nasty and be nasty. But regardless, hey y'all, hey, okay, hello. We have talked about a number of things over the years. If you're a new listener, hell, I'm gonna repeat myself. So something that I'm talking about today, I probably talked about it before. But you're welcome. Okay. What do they say? You got to hear somebody repeat something 3 times for you to get it. Chalk this up as your first time. Okay. But welcome. Hi. Welcome back to the regular listeners. This week, um, nothing crazy or outlandish happened. Well, at least I don't think so. And at least by the time I'm recording this podcast episode, because there are many days between the day that I'm doing the recording and the day that it's posted to the podcast platforms. Then, in addition to that, when it's posted to YouTube. So when you get it, you get it. It could be some new stuff. And if I didn't get to it this week, I'm going to get to it next week. But I want to start off just highlighting this past weekend. There was a march in Selma, Alabama, the notorious Selma, Alabama, historic Selma, Alabama. It was considered or called the All Roads Lead to the South National Day of Action for Voting Rights. This was an opportunity for thousands of people to mobilize, gather, get fired up, get in the spirit of activism into actionable steps that are going to benefit us in this challenging time. And it's only right that it took place in Alabama. And, I was seeing people post online that they tired of seeing Black people march and this stuff doesn't work. And why are we doing this? It's disheartening and all of those things. Now, and while I understand that perspective, right? I understand seeing, because I'm only speaking for myself and my direct peers. We are millennials, elder millennials. Maybe we wasn't around during the civil rights movement. My parents were alive during the civil rights movement, but they were younger. So we only see secondhand information, secondhand footage, documentation, pictures in black and white. So for us, I can see how it is frustrating to think, oh, our parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents and so on did all of these things, did all this marching, and now in 2026 we have not evolved and gotten past that. We're still doing the same old thing. I get it. I get it in theory. I think what I'm trying to sit more with is that The work that our elder parents and aunts and uncles and our ancestors, I'm also wanting to find another word to use for to replace ancestors as it relates to the like recent history, because ancestor gives people permission to put too much space in between what happened. Right? I think that is one of our biggest problems. When we say ancestor, it sounds so far away. No, that's your uncle. No, your uncle. Like, yes, in theory, they're ancestors, but maybe that was just yesterday. But I get the frustration. But to me, seeing all of this stuff happen now and voting rights be under attack the way it is, and all it took is just for a couple people to be put in position and for them to start dismantling stuff. What happened during the civil rights movement was a band aid. It was a band-aid. So yes, we're gonna have to go back to marching because the band-aid done fell off. Y'all know when the band-aid be on your leg too long, that thing fall off. Okay. I honestly think that we're at the point in time we have to do everything. We gotta march. You gotta get the old school marchers out there and the old school rallies. You got to have the speakers, the pastor, and them, the government officials. You got to have everybody up there. You also have to have individual grassroots organization mobilizing on the ground in each individual city, focusing on voter registration, focusing on getting mobilizing and finding transportation for people to get to the polls. You got to have people who are really in politics that can tell us what's happening with different laws and things that are changing. We got to have people who are focused on healthcare, education. You have to have all these things. We got to have social media attack. I really do think this is a sidebar. I think one way that we can elevate with our 2026 and beyond political strategy, I think we need to be a little more what's the word? I think we need to be more on attack with social media. Meaning if people be doing some crazy stuff, if the racists be out, we we literally have access to our phones. Like I think we really need to I think we need to lean more into that. But I'm open to whatever ideas people got. I'm not one of those people that's gonna tell people to stop marching, stop doing this. I'm no, get your butt out there. Everybody gotta do something. But seeing all of the footage come out from this weekend was just it was encouraging. And I personally love when things go back to the South. I love it. We are a spread out people, right? Because of the great migration and other reasons, we are no longer only centralized in the South. It's still true, though, that the majority of Black Americans do live in the American South. That is a fact, and that's true. But we're all over the place now. Maybe not as in like super large numbers in some areas, but maybe we done branched out. We done hit them train. We hit the road, and we got out. But the South is where our American roots lie for the most part. No, not every Black person that was brought to this country was brought in the South. People were brought up north as well. Yes, we know. But when we think about everything that has happened to us and how a large amount of our ancestors lost their land in the South due to racial terror and violence. The number of Black people who lost their lives, starting with enslavement up until now, you name it, the Klan, all of this. To me, it only makes sense that yes, they're gonna be back in Alabama, back where it started, back hitting the streets, declaring the next phase of this new civil rights movement for whatever rights we trying to piece together in this country. So I commend everybody that was out there. If you didn't watch or listen, sorry, not watch, if you didn't listen to last week's episode of Black News, I talked about what everyone's role is going to be. This is the time to think about who you going to be right now during the civil rights movement. People like to romanticize here. I'm going to repeat it. Hey, everybody talk about what they would have done. Okay, we finna see. If I was there, I would. Okay, we finna see. What would you have done? What we? Oh, okay. Yeah, we finna see. So again, kudos to everybody that went. I'm just gonna read a quick piece of an article from an Alabama specific online news publication. The article, it says thousands of people joined demonstrations in Selma and Montgomery on Saturday to protest redistricting by Southern Republican state legislatures targeting Black Democratic members of Congress. An afternoon rally in Montgomery that drew over 5,000 people featured politicians, activists, and civil rights dignitaries as part of the All Roads Lead to the South campaign, aimed at organizing voters to offset the advantages Republicans may gain from redistricting. Also, real quick, what I'm thinking about, a shout out to Bernice King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, who is still with us. Child, listen, one thing I love is seeing her smack down the naysayers, the liars, and the revisionists on social media. People be forgetting his children are here. You know, there's a tendency whenever something going on for people to romanticize Dr. King and what he said and what he would have thought about right now and what he would have stand for and how he felt during the time. And whenever he does that, whenever a post goes viral, she makes sure that she resets the narrative and resets our mind frame around whatever that person is trying to say. She had to do that recently with someone talking about how Dr. King would be upset that they misquote his statement where he said, I fear that I have led my people into a burning building. This is what she said, right? Because again, some guy went viral and was complaining. Her response, she says, this is on Threads. I am one of the children of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that David Banner would agree with his opinions about my father. Oh, listen, that's right. So I stand corrected. There were people posting. It was sparked by David Banner giving an interview and talking about it. Oh, the plot thickens. I do remember now, y'all. Okay, she said then, while David Banner is certainly entitled to his opinion, he is off base regarding the comments about my father that he recently shared with Cam Newton. Harry Belafonte said that my father supposedly told him he feared that he had integrated his people into a burning house. I can only reference what we have record of my father saying, including what he shares in this clip from the 1967 interview with NBC News. It is important to understand that Daddy's goal was never assimilation or Black people simply being in the same spaces as white people. In fact, in Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community, he wrote, let us, therefore, not think of our movement as one that seeks to integrate the Negro into all existing values of American society. Let us be those creative dissenters who will call our beloved nation to a higher destiny, to a new plateau of compassion, to a more noble expression of humanness. He was leading and a part of work for equitable distribution of resources, fairness and justice in housing, banking and education, and other outcomes of the eradication of what he called the triple evils of racism, militarism, and poverty. Conquering those evils, conquering these evils was part of the dream he spoke about on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on August 28th, 1963. In the seldom read, heard, or shared parts of I Have a Dream, Daddy spoke about police brutality, reparations, economic disparities, and voting rights. Please listen, watch, and read it fully with keen attention. His dream was never weak about acquiescence to injustice or centered on a colorblind society in which negative peace, void of justice, prevails. His dream was never weak about acquiescence to injustice or centered on a colorblind society in which negative peace, void of justice, prevails. His dream was that we would work together to rid our world house of the despair of poverty, the destruction of war, and the degradation of racism. He believed that the principled approach and bold strategic methods of nonviolence would get us to that goal and dream, and continued to proclaim his belief the night before he was assassinated in his final speech: I've been to the mountaintop. I encourage you to listen to that entire speech, in which he shares about economic justice, a bank in to support Black banks, and supporting Black insurance companies. He had increased his focus on dismantling the inseparable twins of economic and racial injustice, while at the same time courageously challenging the U.S. government on militarism and with attention on the Vietnam War. And the more he considered the other utter moral and legislative failures of this nation to turn from the triple evils, the more he felt compelled to declare a prophetic warning about the consequences of that failure. Had he not been assassinated, the sermon Daddy would have delivered that Sunday was, America may go to hell. Because of my father's profound love for this country and the world, he was profoundly disappointed by inhumanity and injustice. Yet he was still committed to making of this old world a new world. That's why he was in Memphis to work on dignity and livable wages for sanitation workers. That's why he spoke in I've Been to the Mountaintop of Nonviolence or Non-Existence. That's why in that speech, which would be his last, he powerfully proclaims, I believe that we as a people will get to the promised land. These are not the words of a man who lost hope or disliked the progress he worked on and led. I encourage you to read Daddy's writings and listen to his speeches. Please do critical analysis of people's comments and don't take sound bites and run with them. I know that my father's life, activism, and teachings remain of great interest to people. That's good. That will be truly impactful if what would be truly impactful is if that interest in deeper study were used to drive out hate, eradicate the triple evils, and create a humane, just global society. Bernice A. King. Well said, y'all. Y'all gonna quit talking. Y'all gonna quit playing with Michael with Martin's kids. Okay. Child, I was about to say Michael, Malcolm X, Jackson, Luther King. Listen, I was about to hit you with every M, okay? On them. But y'all get the point. So kudos again, like I was saying, to everybody who went down to Selma or who were there in spirit and who are just mobilizing in their areas, even if it's not in the American South. Let me know your thoughts about all of that. Yeah, you can find me at Cornelia on social media. Y'all know I'm gonna rant and rave about some movies, some television that I find appealing, enriching, or just something that we need to be talking about and we need to be seeing. With that in mind, I saw Is God Is this past weekend at the movie theater. Okay, I done carry my butt over down to the movies to see Is God Is. I was waiting on this. I saw previews come out maybe some months ago, maybe the back end of last year. I forget. I think I got looped in because this was backed and executive produced by Tessa Thompson's production company, Viva Mod. Y'all know I fool with me some Tessa Thompson. Okay. Y'all know I be fooling with people. I fool with me some Tessa Thompson. She don't miss. One person, look, one actress who Tessa Thompson and her production company ain't missing either. But Is God is it's a dark thriller, black cast, black director, first time director Alicia Harris. This was adapted from a play and it stars Vivica Fox, Sterling K. Brown, Kara Young. Kara Young is really good on Broadway. I think she just won a Tony like a year or so ago. Great job. Janelle Monáe, Erica Alexander. It was spoiler alert. Okay. Spoiler alert. If you ain't seen it and you gonna see it, skip over. Spoiler alert. This has gotten 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is about two twins who are seemingly alone in this world together. They were burnt up in a fire by their father, played by Sterling K. Brown. They thought their mother was dead this whole time. They were in foster homes, jumping from foster home to foster home. One was severely burned on her face. The other was burned like on her side of her body, like her arm. They found out that their mother was alive. She sent for them and sent them on a quest to kill their father. When I tell you, I had me a thriller old time watching this movie. This is what we be talking about when we say, one, that we're looking for and want to see original stories. Two, we want Black people to have the opportunity to write creative. I won't even say write, but it's a lot of people out here pitching some good stuff and it just don't get picked up. We want studios to back and support creative projects that are by Black people. That's another reason why I am not mad when you got these Black actors now who have these production companies, because they are getting these pieces made. That's what it's about. Like, this is what it's about. To get a movie made, you need money. Okay? You need money, you need distribution, you need a lot of things depending on how long you've been in this business. A good script, hey, it's only going to get you so far. Everybody has to say yes for you to get your project made. People like to be at home talking about, yeah, they should write. Everybody got to say yes for it to get on the screen in front of you. And in this case, with movies like Is God Is, it takes Black people, and again, in a lot of cases, to greenlight this movie to get it made, because studios like to play that, oh, these type of movies don't sell, they don't do well, nobody will support. And even with this, it was only in 1,400 theaters. That is a small run. The theater that I saw it in, I was at a Regal. They had like 3 rows in the theater. I'm talking about teeny tiny. Now, it was a nice theater. They done redid the movie theater. Okay, it was Regal. But when I picked my ticket online, I immediately got pissed off because, again, even when it is in the movie, you got to give it an opportunity to get the numbers that it can get. But all that aside, this was a well thought out, well executed film. Kudos to Alicia Harris, the director, for doing whatever she needed to do to get this on screen. Sterling K. Brown played the villain. Y'all know Sterling K. Brown be acting, okay? It is really nice seeing him in roles that allows him to branch out of being like the good guy, because he was a straight up villain in this. It's great to see Vivica Fox back on screen, because people like to act like they forgot who Vivica Fox was. Don't play, okay? Do not play. Kara Young, her character, again, spoiler alert, played the twin who was more driven by her anger, rage, and frustration with their circumstance. And the twist at the end, listen, y'all gotta go see this movie. It was a good movie. It also is one of those movies that can spark conversation, because there were so many different layers, even down to the title, even down to them referring to their mother, Vivica Fox, the character played by Vivica Fox, referring to her as God. They were like, she made us, so she's God. Even that can be critiqued and turned into a full-on dissertation and conversation about who God is to each individual. If God created man, is your mother God? Like, John, go see the dang movie. Go see the dang movie. Again, it got, not to say that Rotten Tomatoes is everything, because y'all know how I feel. On one end, I like to see and check it out to see what people are saying, not because I care personally. I just like to, I be using it as a personal case study, if we being honest. And that's also because I am a believer that I don't, if you don't watch no movies with black people, I don't think that you a critic. I don't respect you as a critic. Like I can't, if you don't be watching nothing that got black people in it or directed by black people, to me your opinion doesn't really matter because you actually not fluent in film. Like if you can't tell me who what's the best Hughes Brothers film, I don't want to talk. You can't tell me about how you think Christopher Nolan's best movie is X, Y, and Z. I don't give a hoot. You only have seen one movie by John Singleton. Like I really don't care. Okay. You can't talk to me about how you think Scorsese is this, and that because you're not able to have a debate about why Love and Basketball is just as good of a film as When Harry Met Sally. Like we not going we hey baby, we can't talk. Okay. But with that said, please go see this movie. It's only gonna have a small run. Y'all know how they do. People are already like, this should be nominated for an Oscar. I'm a I agree that it should be definitely in the conversation. They don't be watching movies with black people in it. So it's gonna take y'all know it take a dang hell and high water for people to watch to get the black movie up in there. That's why we have to support it. So go watch, let me know your thoughts, or if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought about it. It should be in theaters again for a couple more weeks. Hit me up and let me know your thoughts. You can find me at Canelia on social media. I want to bring this podcast to a close by just going through some things that just I've been thinking this past week, stuff I've observed or things that I've learned or realized. Because I've learned that I sit with my thoughts and as I'm scrolling social media or having conversations or at work and doing all these things, and it's just a couple of things that I just started to jot down and it turned into a whole list. So first, things that I've again learned, observed, or just been sitting with. People live to criticize something. Some people can't wait to start to criticize. Ooh, they can't wait. Some people be chomping at the bit. I'll give you the example of the movie that I just talked about, Is God Is. People were online, and not a lot, amongst all of the people talking about the movie was so good and you got to see it. This is what we've been asking for. We've been wanting different stories, all this other stuff. Here you come. Here come people. The the plight of the black man is under attack because of the character played by Sterling K. Brown in the movie. Shut your ass up. Literally, it be the same people waiting to criticize. We have been talking about black films and wanting all of this stuff. And the minute we get something that is good and different and thoughtful, somebody got to try to find a loophole to criticize something that don't even need to be criticized. In the movie, Sterling K. Brown's character, spoiler alert, he literally set his family on fire. They were burnt up, okay? No skin graft, okay? No fire extinguisher. So that is not the proper criticism to swoop in and try to say this movie is about destroying the black family and the black man image in the home. He burnt them up. Like, come on, please. What gives? Another thing that I've observed and realized, people just never learn. This goes back to what I said maybe last week or a few weeks ago. We got a lot going on in California with our mayor and governor's race, mayor of Los Angeles, governor of California. And people just ain't learning. They just not learning the lessons. They are not connecting the dots and seeing what people have done over the years, the last 10 years, and the mistakes that have been made and learning from them and doing something different. People still ain't learning. And honestly, I think I'm not confident that some people are capable of learning. And now we at the mercy of everybody else. Another thing, if you don't have your degree, please don't lie on the internet. If you ain't got your degree, please don't be online saying you got your degree. If you can't show a picture in your cap and gown, you with your mom and them with the degree in your hand, if you can't show a video of you strolling on stage or hopping, if you don't have them bad boys framed, can't pull it out the box, it ain't ever down your granny house, you don't have it, you bet not get your butt on the internet and say you got a degree. Cause somebody gonna check. There's so much discourse happening around Dr. Cheyenne Bryant child. People are, I mean, I done see more videos about this woman than I have seen in a while, because apparently she is saying that she is a doctor. Child, they ain't find no doctor. The dissertation, can't nobody find it. She said the school shut down, transcripts gone, degree gone. They can't, nothing is gone. People done looked up online dissertation. They said they can't find it. This whole time she been saying she a doctor child. She allegedly they said allegedly she said she ain't, they ain't got it. God Lord. If you can't find something like that and you practicing and you taking clients, you're a practicing therapist, I think that can get you in trouble. Like, I don't know the rules, but can't that get you in trouble? If you ain't got it, don't say you got it. Period. Next, I really miss talking about sinners. Y'all, I really miss all of the conversation and all of the art, everything that came about that movie. Was thinking about it the other day. I was doing the dishes and cleaning up, and I was like, I need to just put something on. Should I put Sinners on? Good times. Okay. Remick them. You can't come in the juke. I mean, I just really miss that movie. I miss the press run. I miss rooting for them black people to win all of the awards. I even miss being pissed off like I was during the war season, because y'all know I was madder than a mug. Which goes back into the conversation about Is God Is. I'm not saying Is God Is the same movie as Sinners or at the same level. Both pretty good movies in their own right. Totally different. But I'm saying I miss art that sparks discussion, conversation, and feeling with a cultural lens geared towards us. That's what I want. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. Y'all, they shooting X-Files in Vancouver. I don't even watch X-Files. Guess what I'm about to be watching? X-Files. I put on X-Files, the original, the other day. I said, you know what? Let me see what this talking about, because I got to get ready, because, hey, I guess I'll be watching X-Files. Next, I don't know if perimenopause is doing this or if it's something else, but I'm in a walking challenge right now with some of my sorors. And we've been walking. I can only speak for myself. I've been walking for now 18 days. We started on the top of May. Baby, I ain't lost no damn weight. I ain't lost no weight. Yo, I've been walking for 18 days. I had maybe out of that 2 max rest days. No weight off. Okay. No pounds dropped. I haven't lost anything. Maybe it's perimenopause. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I can't bounce back like I used to in my 30s. At this point, child, give me the Ozempic. Child, give me the drugs. Okay. Because whatever this is, it's not working. Another thing that I realized, and I don't know where I was or why I didn't really realize it. Them Jackson songs, maybe them was jamming. Where was I? And I'm not saying where was I like I was born and alive during the 70s. I had a parent who had me listening to all the music. I have a parent, my father is a Jackson 5 Michael Jackson fan. For some reason, we skipped right over them Jackson, that when Jermaine left and they left Motown them. You know what? I'm going to ask my daddy. I'm going to ask him. Did he jump ship when they jump shit. Because I swear I didn't listen to none of them Jackson songs since the Michael movie came out, and they done brought back them Jackson songs. Baby, they was jamming. What was I doing? I'm liking them. Okay, I'm really feeling them. And a super shout out to This Place, Heartbreak Hotel. Maybe they was jamming. I think that might be Michael Jackson's. Now, I don't want to argue about this. I'm just throwing this out there because y'all know people come in with the well actuallys. I think This Place Hotel, Heartbreak Hotel is Michael's best vocal performance. I think it is. The crispness of his vocals, the range, he was doing just enough runs. This was like right when he started with the extra like ow, like before he got super down the road with the extraness. To me, this was like a perfect Michael vocal. That child, that's my song of the summer. And lastly, I just want to shout out that Do Not Disturb on the iPhone is probably one of the best inventions that we've gotten in the last 10 years. I be shutting that phone off. Don't disturb me. Even though I don't really be on the phone like that. That DND, Steve Jobs, whoever did that, who was it? Tim Cook, whoever did that. Hey, you deserve. Okay. You deserve. Let me know what you observed and what you deserve. Let me know what you observed and learned this past week. Or if some of these you completely agree with, and if this is the list, okay? Let me know. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we talked about the march and protests that were happening in Selma, Alabama this past weekend in support of the movement towards voting rights for Black people across the country, but specifically right now in the American South. We also talked about the new movie that's out, Is God Is, how I really enjoyed it and encourage everybody to go support. And lastly, I just went through a list of things that I've learned, observed, and realized this past week. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Cornelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is cornelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.